Yo, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video. The Steam winter sale rolls on, and there's a lot of great deals. We covered deals under $10 yesterday. Now time for some deals under $5. Let's just get right into it because there's so much to cover. And as always, links to all of the deals will be in the description box below. But right off the top, Castle Crashers. What a great co-op title. 70% off for $4.49. Castle Crashers is one of those games I feel like has the holiday spirit absolutely entrenched in it, like a game that is just a kickback, relax kind of game where you and your friends jump in together and have a good time with it. That's the game that Castle Crashers really embodies. A fun 2D beat-em-up title with a great cartoony art style that has aged just kind of gracefully over the last decade plus it's been out for. But very much this is a game I recommend you to pick up if you do have friends to play with. I know friends these days are hard to come by, but I'm sure you guys can find some. And if you can have a co-op adventure through Castle Crashers with a group of people, you're just gonna have a much better time. Like, Castle Crashers is one of those games I really don't think you can enjoy solo. But yeah, for this price point at $4.49, I think it's a great pickup. Get a couple of your buddies to pick it up as well, and you can have a great time together, so definitely check that out. And that's one of those games that if you go through it with a couple friends, you'll go through it every couple of years with those friends and have a good time. Like, it's one of those games I'll go back to every, 3 to 5 years, and we'll go through a run of that. But definitely check that out. Next up, another co-op title, A Way Out, is 85% off for $4.49. Done by Hazelight. Hazelight is a studio that has really carved out a niche for themselves as the studio that creates these really compelling co-op only games, and A Way Out is exclusively a co-op adventure where you play the role of one of two prisoners. It's a shorter game, but it's a very, very engaging game from a narrative standpoint. Twists and turns, and I thought it was executed fairly well. If you have yet to check it out, definitely do so. And again, this is one that co-op is at the heart of it. I mean, co-op is necessary for this game. It's literally, like, you have to play a co-op. But if you buy the game, you can invite a friend to play with you. And it's a really, really well-done co-op title. Most people would probably agree it's not as good as It Takes Two, but still very good in its own right. For this price point, again, I think it's a worthwhile pickup. So definitely go check that out. Next up, we got Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, 85% off for $4.49. Done by an incredibly talented studio in Ninja Theory, and Ninja Theory, I'm sure, will be mentioned in this sale quite a bit because they developed one game called Enslaved Odyssey to the West that I know you guys are sick of me talking about, but nonetheless, they also did DMC Devil May Cry, and they are currently working on a sequel to Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice and Hellblade 2. Hellblade is an incredibly atmospheric, psychological action game, and I remember leading up to the release of this game, I had seen gameplay, and I was just like, yo, this game looks really mediocre. And then it came out, and boy, was I dumb. To be fair, a lot of people thought it looked kind of mediocre leading into its release, but man, when this game came out, it told an incredibly engaging tale, and then on top of that, the atmosphere in this game is so strong, it's so dark in tone. They just executed a really solid game, and it is a shorter game. It was priced at $29.99 when it came out. It looks like Hellblade 2 will be a full-fledged, big budget title, but it'll be available on Game Pass, so take that for what you will. But, yeah, $4.49 for Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. Awesome deal. Strong recommendation if you have yet to play it. Next up, we got Firewatch, 75% off for $4.99. This game came out back in February of 2016, and this is very much another atmospheric, light on the action gameplay. There is no action gameplay. It's very much driven by its story, and, it will be seen as this, like, walking sim style game, but it's a single-player first-person mystery with a gorgeous art style. And I remember when this game came out, there was a lot of talk around it, and there were people on various camps as far as their reception of this game. Some people thought it was a really well-executed story. Other people thought it was super short, no gameplay, etc., etc. But I think it's a game that everybody should at least go through. And man, that art style is so great. Kind of a tranquil game as well. If you just want to chill out and play a game, I think Firewatch is a really good one. So $4.99 for that, I would definitely give it a look. Next up, we got Dead Space 2, 75% off for $4.99. Who knows? This game might get a remake, so if you're of the mindset that Dead Space 2 is going to get a remake, maybe wait for it. But man, I thought Dead Space 2 was awesome. Dare I say I thought Dead Space 2 was better than Dead Space 1? I don't know if a lot of people agree with me on that, but I thought Dead Space 2 was absolutely awesome. Obviously, Dead Space 1 got the full-on remake, and Dead Space 2 still rings true on those horror elements that are really, really well done. The action gameplay is great, and just an incredible action horror title. The actual horror elements by the latter portion of the game, that kind of does subside, and you kind of play it as for what it is, more of the action approach, but I still thought Dead Space 2 was great, and for $5, I think that's a no-brainer. Great pickup there, so check that out, and definitely do check out the Dead Space remake as well. That's like $24, but it is available on EA Access. Next up, Assassin's Creed 2, 75% off for $4.99. Really, there's a ton of Assassin's Creed games on sale that are sub $5, but why not recommend Assassin's Creed 2? I mean, that's a tried and true, easy one to recommend. Assassin's Creed 2, I think to a lot of you guys watching this video that have played it, quite possibly one of your favorite games of all time. I would probably put Assassin's Creed 2 in that mix. I mean, I liked Assassin's Creed 4 better. It seems like AC2 is the one that everybody loves as their favorite, and Ezio is obviously an iconic main character. Everybody loves Ezio. He got his own damn trilogy. As much as I love Edward didn't get his own trilogy. And AC2 is just a fantastic game. Brotherhood and Revelations are certainly worthwhile playing, Brotherhood especially. By Revelations, I thought Ezio kind of overstayed his welcome, but it's still pretty good. But AC2 is awesome. Obviously, give that a playthrough. It is an excellent game, especially at this price point of $4.99. Next up, Final Fantasy VII OG, 60% off for $4.79. You know, FF7's a classic, and I know FF7 has a full-on remake, but guess what? Remake Intergrade covers the first, 25% of the game, and we do know that, you know, the story's getting kind of crazy, and FF7 is going to stand the test of time as its own, as its own game. There's no worry about that. You can play both and have a great time with both. What I would recommend you with FF7, Echo S, guys, phenomenal mod to the game. Adding full voice acting to the game, and the voice acting, the team that did this voice acting for Final Fantasy, they crushed it. I was shocked when I first discovered this Echo S mod. That group, they crushed it from voice acting Final Fantasy VII, and it's literally every line in the game is voice acted. Visual upgrades are available. Man, that mod is just so great, and kudos to the team that put that out, because it's fantastic. Kind of goes to show how iconic of a game FF7 is when you have a group of people voice acting the entire thing. As a fan mod, but just so well done, and the game itself is obviously great. Cloud, one of the most iconic characters of all time. Story is very good, and a lot of secrets and things of that nature. Make sure you get Vincent in your playthrough as well, because he is missable, and Vincent's the GOAT, so obviously, go do that, but $4.79 for FF7, great deal there. Next up, Wolfenstein: The New Order, 75% off for $4.99. Really solid first-person shooter. Wolfenstein does get kind of wacky from its storytelling, but I still think from a gameplay standpoint, it's fantastic. Alternate history. Yeah, really well done game, and definitely play this, play New Colossus, and a lot of good stuff from Wolfenstein as a whole. Machine Games, the studio, they're actually working on the Indiana Jones game, so hopefully that turns out fairly well. Next up, a couple of Tales of titles. Want to give a shout to both Tales of Zestiria and Tales of Berseria. Both $5 a pop. Now, Zestiria is without a doubt the weaker of the two games. Tales of Zestiria is honestly one of the weakest, probably the weakest Tales of game. You know, there's some ones like Tales of Symphonia, Dawn of the New World, but Zestiria on PC, the PC release of Zestiria is probably the weakest one. That being said, Tales of is such a consistent franchise that Zestiria is still a pretty decent game. Some of the story elements and characters aren't as strong as the other titles, but it's still a decent JRPG to go through. Definitely wouldn't be my first recommendation as far as which Tales of title to start with. Berseria, on the other hand, is fantastic. Has a phenomenal main character in Velvet, she is very different than most JRPG main characters. Yeah, just a really well done game from a story standpoint. Gameplay's good, and yeah, for $5, this is a great pickup. Definitely check out Berseria, check out Zestiria at some point. Vesperia is really good, Arise is really good. Just Tales of is a super consistent franchise, and I'm sure we'll hear more about Tales of as far as their next outing. Fingers crossed for a Tales of the Abyss remake, not a remaster, a full-on remake. I'm sure they won't do that because they just go the lazy remaster route, but man, Tales of Abyss is so awesome that we need that game on modern platforms, and I would love for it to be a full-on remake, but we'll see if that ultimately does happen. I doubt it. I bet you we get the Symphonia treatment, and it's just an HD upgrade. Next up, we got Talos Principle. Very, very compelling puzzle game with some really, really well done puzzles. Talos Principle 2 just came out, and that game has been received incredibly well. Great sci-fi aesthetic to the game. Visuals are really solid, and this is a game that's almost a decade old, 9 years old, a little over 9 years old, but, you know, inching closer to a decade. Really well done puzzle game where the puzzles aren't crazy, but they're also rewarding enough that I found it interesting, and I'm dumb as hell when it comes to puzzles, so if I could do it, you can do it as well. $4.49 for Talos Principle, great price there. Next up, we got Need for Speed Hot Pursuit Remastered, 85% off for $4.49. I played Need for Speed Hot Pursuit when it initially came out back in 2010, and I loved the game. As an arcade racer, it was fantastic. Just really embodied that fun out of an arcade racer, and Need for Speed at its height. Hot Pursuit Remastered, this remaster isn't anything to write home about, but as far as an arcade racer goes, for $4.50, this is a great deal. Next up, we got Ori and the Blind Forest Definitive Edition, 75% off for $4.99. A tremendous game by Moon Studios, and just incredible from a visual standpoint. Metroidvania style game, gameplay's really good, soundtrack's really good, and man, that art style is just tremendous. And when did Ori and the Blind Forest came out? It's been a while. I want to say it's like 2013, 2014. It was an Xbox One game, so Xbox One was 2013, so sometime in 2013, 2014, I would imagine, was when it initially came out. But yeah, it still holds up incredibly well. Will of the Wisps is obviously something you should check out as well, a follow-up to Blind Forest, so play Blind Forest first, but nonetheless, great deal there. Next up, we got Deus Ex Mankind Divided, 85% off for $4.49. Certainly play Human Revolution first, and Human Revolution I do think is the superior game, but Mankind Divided is still pretty good as a cyberpunk action RPG. I just think it kind of falters from a narrative standpoint. Also had a lot of performance issues at launch, but you know, from a narrative standpoint, it leaves me wanting a lot more. Let's put it lightly like that. And the game itself, from a gameplay standpoint, I thought was really well executed. And Adam Jensen, I love the main character. He's great, and we need more of him. And rumbling is that there is a Deus Ex game in early development, so fingers crossed that comes out in my lifetime. But yeah, $4.49 for Mankind Divided, good price there. And lastly, we got Saints Row the Third, 50% off for $4.99. The full package is $7.49 if you want to check that out. Over-the-top open-world game with a lot of comedy, not to be taken too seriously, but this is probably Saints Row at its peak and how people like to remember Saints Row after the atrocity that was Saints Row 2022. And that was a game that I didn't even hate as much as most people, but let's be real. Saints Row the Third is really what took Saints Row to the next level. And I know a lot of people love Saints Row 1 and 2, so no slight on those games either, but nonetheless, the third for $5, great price there. But that is going to do it for me. Again, a lot of great deals across the board with the Steam Winter Sale. Links to all of these deals, as always, will be in the description box below. Let me know what you guys have picked up thus far, you know, buying games for the Winter Sale. Are you taking it easy and not buying anything at all? Which certainly I don't think is a bad idea. Always a good idea to save some money and play the games in your backlog. I know some of you guys got 46,000 games in your backlog, so, like, yeah, go tackle that before you make it 46,002 games in your backlog. But, yeah, that'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and thanks for all the support, man. These videos have been crushing it recently, and, you know, you guys seem to always love the sale coverage, and I know it's a lot of retread with the same games. I know some of you guys get upset with that, but, like, I'm one man trying to play these games, and like, at the end of the day, like, I can't play every game under the sun, especially with 8 billion games coming out every week. I try to keep up with the stuff that's actually coming out, and then you're talking about the games of old, but yeah, you guys get the idea. I feel like most of you guys are pretty understanding, but I do get the criticism, but it is what it is. Let me know all of your thoughts down below. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.